Hello, beautiful viewers. My name is Okachuku Ukore. Today, on my talk shop, I want to speak about bridging the gap between Francophone and Anglophone countries. When I mean bridging the gap, especially in this diaspora, and you see the inherent problems between the Africans from countries colonized by the Great Britain and Africans from countries colonized by France. When I say bridging this gap, what do I mean by that? I mean how we can come together, how we can form a united front, because we have to be as united like the broom. Without unity, we can't achieve things, especially in today's world that is very, very harsh for Africans. It's harsh on the economic front, it's harsh on global policies, especially we that is in the diaspora. You see problems Africans do have, especially on immigration issues. Africans drown in their hundreds trying to cross to Europe, to come into Europe, elusive Europe, things that have been painted that it looks like everything is rosy here when it is not. So often I ask myself, there are 54 countries in Africa, including the new countries South Sudan and the islands of the mainland Africa. I mean the Cape Verde, the Mauritius, Comoros and Co. If these 54 countries can come together and trade among themselves, don't you think Africa can really be an El Dorado? Like it has always been. Africa is the place for future. They will always say that the rejected stone shall turn to be the cornerstone. But Africa has always been the cornerstone. It's just that many Africans don't understand. Now, coming to what I'm here to, the subject of the matter today. How do we bridge this gap? We have to bridge this gap through economic policies, social relations, economic issues. When I mean economic issues, trade, investments, bringing down borders. We see how the European Union is doing, helping on themselves. It's easier for you to get a job as an European than being African. That's the fact. And for instance, the country I am in, Ireland, there were many Africans who came in here before some European countries joined the EU. But when the doors were open for the new European Union members, they were taking up jobs which Africans used to do before. So, in essence, how can we start trading among ourselves? Before, it was easier to travel from Lagos or Accra to London than to travel from Lagos to Kinshasa. But today, globalization has helped us. The whirlwind of globalization, which we have benefited from, it's bringing us together. You can meet Malawian, Zimbabwean here in abroad. Unlike before this period, if you are back home, it were to be difficult for you to see your brother from another African country unless you live in the city. So how do we help one another, and how do we form this unity like the broom? We have to come together, understand ourselves, understand the colonial history of Africa. That's in 1884 to 1885. Some men and leading their nations gathered in Berlin and partitioned Africa like a piece of cake. Even weak nations in Europe partitioned. You can see Belgium annexing Congo that is filled with resources a lot. You see how Congo is today. Look at Francophone countries and see how the policies rendered many Francophone countries bad. Look at what just happened in Burkina Faso, whereby Thomas Sankara was killed and Blaise Compaoré have been ruling for 27 years. And after bringing down the country, he escaped. He was helped out, in escaping to Ivory Coast too. You see what I'm talking about. So how can Africans come together, and stop this dichotomy, francophone, anglophone Africans? Look at what Nollywood is doing. Nollywood is recreating our life now, bringing our stories, bringing people from different parts of the continent, creating stars. We have to patronize what it does. We have to look inward and see how we can, patronize ourselves, buy our products, invest in our cities, create jobs for our people. Those in the diaspora here have to lead the campaign. You see how Europeans are doing it. Germans are in other parts of Europe investing, creating an enabling environment, employing more of their people. I'm not saying they are not good Europeans. There are many of them who support what we are trying to achieve, but we have to help ourselves more. We have to help ourselves in the sense that he who wear the shoe know where it pinches. The immigration issues in diaspora is creating a lot of problems for Africans, and Africans have evolved a way in helping themselves. So we can take a note from that in looking forward to helping those back home and taking resources back home and leading the campaign on how we can develop African cities, how we can trade among ourselves, how we can partner in business, how we can invest, how we can love one another, how we can empower each other, how we can educate our people. It's very important, because if we don't do this, nobody can do it for us. Let us bring down this barrier of you're from the Anglophone countries and you're from the Francophone countries. When I mean Anglophone and Francophone, I mean Anglophone, the countries colonized by Britain, and Francophone, the countries colonized by France. These powers are looking for their interests, and we must have to tell them, look, this is a new age that we have finally even come to their shores, been in the same classroom with them, educated with them. We have to sell our story. We can tell our story more than they doing that. The time of armchair historian or writing has gone. When somebody relaxes with a cup of tea and talking about Africa is gone. We have to tell our story, and that's why in Africa World newspaper will have a condensed message of saying, unless the hunted gives his account, the story of the hunt will always favor the hunter. So that's my message for today. Bring down the barriers. Africa must be united. Anglophone, Francophone, we are just one. We are one destiny. We have to develop our continent. It's important. That development, it's with us. We have to take the lead. When we take the lead, then they will now follow. Check up what we are doing at www.africaworldnewspaper.com, or join us on Facebook, Africa World Newspaper. Be our friend, like our pages. We have set up this platform to empower our people, where our people can express themselves, and we are glad that we are serving through this medium. So it's my pleasure talking to you, and I thank you and God bless for listening. My name is Okachukwu Okori, the editor of Africa World Newspaper based in Dublin.